Before I start the response to everything that's been said in the video, 5 reasons God exists, please notice that the title of the video doesn't say 5 proofs that God exists, but rather uses a less stronger word. The term reason would suggest that the existence of God is somehow made probable by reasoning. Indeed, it can. You can reason anything into existence if you would put your mind to it. The question of course is, are the reasons reasonable to assert and are the reasons logical? In this video, the reasons are incredibly weak and anything but logical.
What people perceive as real, true, right, valuable, and meaningful is dramatically influenced by their view of whether God is real or not.
By stating this, an unreasonable amount of gravitas is pumped into the belief in God. I'm quite sure that most moderate believers don't let their belief in God have a distinct role in their decision-making, or in their contemplations of what is right or wrong, or what they feel is valuable on a daily basis. Belief in God isn't dramatically influencing their views, it is this video that is trying to influence the viewer dramatically.
A cogent way of arguing for God is to infer his existence as an explanation for the most meaningful realities of life. This abductive form of logical reasoning is very similar to the way detectives, lawyers, historians, and scientists reason.
Inferring God as an explanation for meaningful realities of life is handled by detectives and lawyers. I certainly can't remember the last time I heard a lawyer getting his client off the hook by suggesting that whatever his client did was an act of God. And a scientist wouldn't be a scientist if any cause of any effect was ascribed to God. What a terrible point to make.
Since this perspective forms the context of an overall worldview, the atheist and the Christian view all of reality in different ways.
No, they don't. Here the video continues to over-dramatize the situation. There is no such thing as the atheist, nor is there a model Christian representing all of the Christians. Beliefs and views vary significantly among individuals in these groups. The claim that all of reality is viewed differently between Christians and atheists is completely gratuitous.
Let's briefly explore how the God of the Bible provides a solid and consistent foundation for explaining the important realities and phenomena encountered in life in 5 specific ways. Number 1. God uniquely accounts for the physical universe's beginning. According to prevailing scientific theory, the universe had a singular beginning about 14 billion years ago. All matter, energy, time, and space came into existence out of nothing. This Big Bang gradually cooled and diffused sufficiently to allow for the formulation of galaxies, stars, planets, and so forth. This Big Bang cosmological model, which is embraced by the vast majority of research scientists, demonstrates that the universe is not eternal, but had a specific beginning, a finite period of time. Big Bang cosmology matches quite well with the biblical doctrine of creation ex nihilo. The first verse of the Bible states, "In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth." The infinite, eternal, and personal creator God of the Bible can serve as an adequate explanation for the physical universe's beginning.
Isn't this just sweet? First some rant about logical reasoning and then this? First of all, there is no scientist alive today who would suggest that the start of the universe came out of nothing. In order to have a bang you would have to have something to bang, right? Secondly, even if the biblical God created the heavens and the earth in one day, it would have been a very long day, since the earth is only 4.5 billion years old and the universe much older. What was God doing in those billions of years in between? Designing DNA in his lab perhaps? Thirdly, even if a godlike entity started the whole thing, there is absolutely no reason to suggest that the biblical God is the best match. You could make this point for any known creator God, and the ones you could think of in a philosophical mood.
Yet if you reject belief in God, how do you explain the universe's singular beginning? Some atheists insist that the universe came from nothing by no one, but is that answer truly reasonable? The Bible's cosmology, on the other hand, fits the scientific facts.
The biblical cosmology? You mean that one sentence in which is stated that God created the heavens and the earth? Is this supposed to be a joke? The universe's singular beginning can't be explained by science at this point in time. Maybe it will never be able to explain it. But putting a god, or indeed the biblical God, as an onset, is saying little else than there was a magic man who started it. Well, if you consider a magic entity more reasonable than, for example, the existence of a singularity at the beginning of cosmic time, or the collision between brains as a starting point, then by all means. Don't you realize that anything could be placed as the creator of the universe and fit the scientific facts, simply because there are no scientific facts concerning the origin of the Big Bang? Can't you see what a non-argument God poses on this issue?
Number 2. God uniquely accounts for the order, complexity, and design evident in the universe.
What a statement. If the Bible actually mentioned the number of stars in our galaxy, the existence of other galaxies in our universe, quasars, pulsars, planets, dark energy, black holes, etc., then it would be at least a lot more plausible that the Bible was actually the Word of God, or that indeed God was responsible. Since the Bible doesn't mention any of these terms, and that it never explains how God created anything in the first place, it certainly doesn't account for anything.
Even the staunchest atheist would admit that the universe exhibits amazing order, regularity, complexity, and intelligibility. However, the general acceptance of the anthropic principle, the view that nature's laws appear fine-tuned to ensure the emergence of human life by the scientific community, has heightened the intuition that the universe is the product of a cosmic designer. The astonishing intricacy, harmony, and organization of the cosmos, in allowing for human life, is evidenced from the fine-tuning of the fundamental constants of physics, to the just-so nature of the galaxy and solar system.
The answer to this bogus and unsupported statement is the following.
You want your God to take responsibility for the huge number of collapsing stars and imploding galaxies and destroyed universes and failed solar systems that have left us in this tiny corner on the one planet in this petty solar system that can support life some of the time on some of its surface. And you want a creator who's filled this Earth with species since life began, 99% of which are now extinct already. And this is some design, isn't it?
Number 3. God uniquely accounts for the reality of objective ethical values. Moral values are fundamental parts of human life, every bit as real as the law of gravity, and people are generally intuitively cognizant of their moral obligations.
On what planet does the presenter of this video think he exists? Moral values is an abstract and completely subjective term. What may be a moral act to a Muslim, for example the sentencing of a rape victim to 90 lashes for the reason of meeting an unrelated male, is hopefully a total violation of morality to anybody else. What an utterly stupid point to make, so let me just skip the rest of the third point in this video and go on to number 4. This way I don't need to tire myself with debunking even more utterly stupid claims such as God's morally perfect nature, as if issuing the deaths of people for the most ridiculous reasons has anything to do with morality.
Number 4. God uniquely accounts for the enigma of man. Human nature poses a puzzling paradox. While capable of great things in the area of mathematics, science, technology, philosophy, the arts, humanitarian and charitable acts, and so forth, humanity is also equally capable of shameful and evil acts, rape, robbery, racism, slavery, and mass murder. Yet if you reject belief in God, how do you explain the enigma of man? Neither atheism nor the alternative religions of the world do as good a job as the Bible of explaining the world's greatest riddle, mankind.
Just stop right there. Atheism isn't a movement, it's not a group of people that supports a specific creation theory, and it certainly isn't meant to be a term for people that go about giving explanations for anything. It's just a term for people that don't believe in any God. Scientists are the ones explaining stuff. And you don't need to be an atheist to be a scientist.
Naturalistic evolution strains to explain a creature that is capable of painting the Sistine Chapel